Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is the August 2022 MacVoices update. I'm able to get this in a little bit before the end of the month. It's amazing how fast the months go by. Wanted to call your attention to a couple things that I'm hoping you may have already noticed, but if not, here we go. MacVoices is evolving, or at least I'm trying to have it evolve some. You may have noticed this month, that we had a new MacVoices Select Tech. We had a couple more MacVoices briefings. We even had the cross-posting of an edition of a show that I'm on a regular basis, the Mac Show from the British Tech Network. The whole idea is to flesh out MacVoices, give you an idea of what all's going on with MacVoices, what all we're involved in, and also maybe some original MacVoices content rather than just interviewing guests and having discussions, hopefully, on topics that interest you. But to do a little more original content. I've got a number of other things in the works, too, that I'd like to try, and I'd love to have your feedback on them as to whether you find them useful, not useful, interesting, boring, whatever. Please let me know. And the best way to do that, of course, the easiest way is chuck@macvoices.com, although there are plenty of other social media presences out there for you to connect with me on. I also wanted to talk about what you want to see on MacVoices, not just in relation to what I just mentioned, but also, what kind of things are you looking for? Would you like to see some interviews with different people? Are you able to connect me with those people? That would be great. Obviously, I can't promise to take on everybody that comes along, and I'm going to be a little bit picky about who gets on the show, just because I do want to maintain the quality of the show. But I'm also open for ideas, thoughts, comments, questions. You may have seen this month that we added some of our patrons to one of the MacVoices live panels. We invited everyone, and we had a couple show up, and we had a great conversation. It's something I definitely plan to do in the future and do a little more of to get folks a little more involved. Which brings me to the MacVoices Slack. That's where we communicate with those folks and post the information, because we definitely don't want invitations to a MacVoices Live going out just to the open internet. We've tried that before, and we had a few problems with people coming and doing inappropriate things. So the easiest way for you to get involved in that part is to join the MacVoices Slack, and that means becoming a patron of MacVoices. Visit patreon.com/MacVoices and contribute at any level, and you get access to the Slack. You get access to MacVoices After Dark. You get access to pretty much everything that's kind of going on behind the scenes. Now, for those of you who are contributing on a regular basis to Patreon, thank you. Of course, we'll get to the support report in a minute. But as new people sign up, I try to send them invitations to the MacVoices Slack. Sometimes people join, sometimes they don't. I'm guessing sometimes those invitations get caught up in spam. So if you are a patron of MacVoices and you have not received that invitation to the MacVoices Slack and would like one, please let me know. Obviously, there's no requirement that you sign up for the MacVoices Slack or participate, but it is a benefit of being a patron, and it also gives you a little insight into what we're doing, what kind of things we're thinking about or talking about. And of course, it gives you the opportunity to interact with the MacVoices Live panel and with each other as patrons of MacVoices. Also, kind of along those lines, there's been some question over whether Slack is the best place for that kind of interaction, and should we move or supplement it with a Discord presence. I'm open for discussion on this. I really don't need, and I'm sure you probably don't need, yet another place to post ideas and comments and try to keep up with things. On the other hand, if Discord is something you're using now and it's a place that you would regularly go, I'm open to it. Whether that would supplement the Slack, whether it would replace the Slack, whether it would be open to all MacVoices listeners or, again, be limited to patrons, all of those things would be under consideration. So if you have a strong feeling about it, please drop me an email, chuck@macvoices.com. I'd love to hear what's on your mind and what you're thinking about it. Or even if you want that. I mean, right now we have the Facebook page and the Facebook group. And I understand that Facebook can be a bit of a polarizing issue. If you've listened to Mac Voices, you know how it is. Twitter is great. I respond to tweets pretty regularly, and they are, though, for better or worse, a little more of a one-to-one or one-to-a-few kind of commentary, as opposed to an open forum for discussion. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. With that, we're going to move to this month's support report. At Platinum this month, we had RVS. At Gold, we had Web B, Mary G, David G, and Frank P. At Silver, we had Baz, Craig A, Eric C, Michael D, Bruce E, Tim G, Chuck P, Hal R, George R, and Daniel S. And at Bronze, we had Max C, Tom C, Brian F, Cletus H, Craig H, Greg H, Clinton M, John M, and Prop P. And you know what I'm going to say next. Thank you so much to the patrons who help keep the lights on and the wheels turning here at Mac Voices. You are the bedrock of support for Mac Voices. I could not do it without you, and I really, really, really appreciate it. And for everyone else who supports Mac Voices in whatever way, whether they just share shows on social media, whether you buy things through our affiliate links and through our sponsors, or even if you just check out our sponsors, that's all we ask. I firmly believe in the products that we have on Mac Voices, that they are worthy of your attention. And if they suit you or fill a need for you, great. Please let them know you heard about them on Mac Voices. There's so many ways to support Mac Voices, and it doesn't necessarily mean contributions. So you can visit the support page on Mac Voices, see some of those. I'm building that out too as well, a little bit more than it has been, and we're going to see how it goes. But thank you to everyone who supports the show. Thanks to everyone who shows up on Tuesday nights for the Mac Voices live shows. We have a great time, and if you can make it work for your time zone, you definitely should, because we have a lot of fun. That's a support report for April 2022. I'm Chuck Joyner. I'll be back with more soon. Until then, and as always, thanks for watching.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.